For me, that's a really nice win. Monza is a tough team, guys. Welcome. We're going to be breaking this one down. And I'm excited because going into this, I felt like they could have been unpredictable. They are a young team. They're coached by Raffaele Palladino, who is an up-and-coming manager. And there felt like there was a lot of energy behind them. I think they had something like 5 of their last were results. So I'm gonna look quickly at their last few games. And it was a bunch of clean sheets for De Gregorio, who is rumored now to be going to Juventus. So going into this match, Monza beat Salernitana 2-0. Then they beat Milan by scoring 4 goals, drew Verona, drew Udinese, beat Sassuolo, and that's their last 5. So incredible form that they were in, really just running through the mid-table, plus Milan, who had a red card there. It was a big rival, but definitely a neighbor who they don't like. And Roma just sat when they needed to, absorbed the pressure, broke when the opportunity was there, and created stuff out of really what I thought was like limited opportunities where Monza packed and really didn't give too much space. This team, they've got a lot of potential. They've got a lot of good players, I would say. Andrea Colpani, Juric was a good big Bosnian striker. He was a problem to handle. We saw him in the first minute. He put a boot in on Evan Ndika and opened up, I think, his nose. I think he cut his nostril. You could see him bleeding on TV. So this is a team that it's not that they didn't have threats. It's just that Roma were better. Why were they better? Because they had Paulo Dybala, because the defense played smart. Evan Ndika is a superior player. Paredes kept things nice and quiet, converted the penalty when he needed to, and Lukaku fed off that delivery by Paulo. Going further, could say that Pellegrini and his revival has been key to this. People will say that the last manager was the problem, and now under De Rossi, the only thing that I have to add to that is they're playing so much more focused to their skill set, and this team is allowed to flourish. I want to answer this question coming in quickly here. Hi guys, as we start to come in, do you think Lukaku goes back to Chelsea? I do, and it comes back to economics in that the growth decree, the tax. The tax bill has been repealed, which means that Italian teams no longer get the loophole of not having to pay, or the players, they used to be able to keep more of their salary due to the taxes, but that's going away. So I think that's going to hurt the superstars coming in and out of and staying in Italy. So I don't think Lukaku gets signed by Roma going into this season. But you know what we can do? We can put up a very nice banner, Roma win. And here we go. What else do I got? Do I got my little, what do you call it? My little background, my overlay? No, it's not that. But maybe it's this. And you know what? We should start to take a look at the other score lines now going on. It's a really interesting 27 rounds in. And I think, to me, this is, as things start to get a bit more serious, this is a telling match day, a telling fixture. Look at these lists here. So we're going to see that. Let me just click on the current round. Let me go back real quick. All right. And we can see the rest of the round right here. Torino will play Fiorentina. Fiorentina is probably the favorite going into that, but Roma fans know that Torino is a decent side and they can hit you. I don't know. I think that's Fiorentina's to lose. But anyway, a draw between Udinese and Salernitana. Lazio, 3 red cards against Milan. That match was a mess. Di Bello, the referee, is getting in trouble for that one too. He's disqualified for 3 games following this one. Let's look really quickly. And we've got a bunch of red cards all around. It doesn't tell us. Yeah, okay. Luca Pellegrini, not related to Lorenzo, but also from Rome. Marusic gets one, and Guendouzi for his foul against Pulisic. And some of that stuff coming from the Lazio fans against Pulisic was ugly. Really just sick stuff that you don't want to see on social media. Maybe it's not for everybody, right? But Benacer, Adli, and they get that goal, I think in like the 87th minute. I think it was, who was it, Leao? That opened it. It was Okafor, right? Okafor comes off the bench and converts that one. Milan go on to win it. They keep their march up for 3rd spot. Look likely to get it unless something strange happens, I suppose. But the big match for Roma fans will come right here. Atalanta Bologna. What would be best for Giallorossi supporters? Probably a tie between them. Bologna don't stop scoring. They don't stop winning. would never guess, and I would never put money on the fact that they can get into the Champions League. But this far, this deep into the season, with them maintaining this status, as we see them in the 4th spot, 48 points, just one ahead of Roma right now, because Roma have that game in hand too. It's unbelievable what Bologna have been able to do under Thiago Motta, and then just as well for Gasperini. He's not my favorite manager, I'll tell you. He seems to have a poor rapport with his players, but 46 points there, and we can see that they lost their last match in a draw, so their form has dipped. But if Roma are somehow able to secure that 4th spot, get into it, I would really think that they're going to be able to hold it, and that makes me happy. Just the way that they're playing is strong. They're playing good. They're playing thoughtful football. I think it's a hopeful time. I feel pretty good when you look at that table. What is Bologna's? I would say Atalanta is more of the longer threat here. What's their schedule look like coming up? And we could see following this one, they are going to be bothered by European play because they're in the round of 16. Then they've got Juventus and then another match in the round of 16. So they don't have that benefit that they had last season of not playing in Europe. Then it's Fiorentina. Then it's Napoli. Then it's Cagliari, Verona, Monza. And then they're in the Coppa Italia. So they've got a fully loaded schedule coming up. Then Roma do get to play them. They get that opportunity. I would not want to be playing for Atalanta right now because that looks grueling. That's a very difficult schedule coming up, my friends. But let me adjust this real quick. What is it? Shift 4. There we go. Very nice. And let's look at some of these comments. Damir, what's up, my friend? Daya Daniele, what a game. Hi, Vincent. I don't know. What do you think about that? It's hard to argue against it. Buenas tardes. Hi, Ben. How are you? Carlos Omili says, El Shaarawy was clearly tired, which led to the goal for Monza. Yeah, he was exhausted. El Shaarawy, I think his role today was more utility, not so much get in the box, try to make something. That responsibility was left more to Paulo, who was put in a superior position to get that goal, which probably ended up saving his energy with Lukaku, whereas El Shaarawy was kind of that linchpin hinge between the midfield and the attack, which he can play. He can do that. But yeah, I think that Carl makes a good point in that he was exhausted here. Do I think Roma has a chance of getting into the Champions League spot? As we just looked in the table and we consider Atalanta's schedule, I very much do. Also, we should take a look at Bologna and what they've got coming up. I'm going to just change our presentation again. What do we got? I'm always messing around with these. There we go. That's better. Okay. Atalanta tomorrow. Inter on the following weekend. Salernitana, Empoli, who've been doing very well under Davide Nicola. It looks like he's going to be able to get them out of relegation and stay in Serie A. Frosinone, Monza, okay. But then Roma, Udinese, okay. But then Napoli and Juventus. And also, I will add that Genoa is a tough game, especially at the Marassi. Playing in Genoa is not the easiest. You know, it's something like 50,000 fans, and that stadium is continuously sold out. They have a great fan base. It's one of the stadiums I really want to get to in Italy is in Genoa. I want to see what it's like out there. Daniela De Rossi, you've rocked my world, Ben says. May not be a stat, but the mojo and confidence the team's playing with now is unreal. Breathe new life into this squad. And don't, his whole like aura, right? You look at his outfits he's been wearing. Apparently nobody can get these track kits, these Adidas ones. I'm going to pull them up real quick for you on AS Roma's Twitter. But like, I've heard, and my buddy Theo on Twitter, he's always posting about how they're not in stock. And it's just funny. Like, why didn't Adidas make more of these? They knew that this was going to be such a hot topic, a hot thing that people wanted. But there he is getting, you know what I'm talking about. It's the Run DMC Adidas tracksuit. That's the best way I can describe it. There he is. There's the boss. Getting off the bus. It's a cool look. What do you think? Sneakers with the suit? But I do like the long sleeve or the t-shirt under the suit jacket. I think that's a pretty cool look. Yeah, he's a gentleman indeed, De Rossi. Let's look at what else is going on today. What do I got for you here? I was just very excited. If you were following me on Twitter, I posted this stat as well of Lorenzo Pellegrini. Let's jump over to that. There we go. Take a look at that past form. So it's that Verona match there, 2-1 at the top of your screen, where De Rossi joins as manager. He's the player of the game according to who scored, gets a goal the following match, a goal against Salernitana the following match, a goal and an assist against Cagliari, gets 2 assists against Inter. By the way, Inter has only trailed for 30-something minutes this season, and 7%, no, it's maybe a little higher. But anyway, 5 minutes of that 30-something was against Roma, and it was that match. Then he takes a little bit of a lull against Feyenoord. I don't remember if he started against that one or not, and then Frosinone, but then gets back in the second leg against Feyenoord with a goal, ends up being the go-ahead goal. And today, of course, against Monza, he gets another goal. That's a player who's confident. That's a player who's really feeling himself. And it's such a revolution under De Rossi. The way that he's able to just pick those passes out, he's breaking into the opponent's final third so much more. He's so much more proficient. He's keeping his head up. He's taking more touches in the box. So he's really benefiting from that movement that De Rossi is allowing him to take. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe this is not the player that I should probably erase the word maybe there. He's not the player who's going to sit deep and make things happen. This is not Andrea Pirlo who's going to just bail you out. He's a different type of player. He likes to see the ball. He likes to get involved in the action. LB says, Roma have Tammy. No need to waste money on Lukaku. Interesting. Must make sure Dybala is here, though. Roma likely will never get a player his caliber who wants to be here unless he's Roman and Primavera. There's probably some truth to that. And I want to ask, should Dybala, if he resigns, there we go, get the number 10 kit? I'm going to put that there as a question. I want to ask you guys, if you're watching this recorded or live as we are right now, what do you think about this? Throw a comment in. If Dybala resigns on a 3 or 4 year contract, do you give him the number 10? Me, I'm all in. Yes. Make your star players feel loved. Put that confidence that you have back into them. Let them know that we believe in you. And that will just amplify what he gives back to the squad. Okay, let's look at some more comments too. Let's see what's going on. But this is an interesting comment here, though, especially about Tammy. And I do believe that Tammy Abraham will get back to scoring ways. I think it's going to take some time. It's not going to be immediate. I hope the fans are patient. But he's got what it takes. And I think under De Rossi, he has the ability to be that fast striker. He's got the positional knowledge. Last season, I don't know exactly what happened. It wasn't a strong showing. We know that. But perhaps it was tactics. And maybe now that he'll have more availability, he'll be more taking more touches and more opportunities within the box. He'll thrive off of that. That's very possible too. Germanicus, nice win, and Ferrari takes 3rd and 4th in race. Just looking at my wife now because we were unable to get the Formula One Bahrain. Yeah, ESPN app wasn't working this morning. We were trying to get it, but that's not a bad day. I'm gonna guess Max won. Max probably got P1, right? I'm wondering who got 2nd. If it's Perez, I'm gonna be a little annoyed. I don't want to see Red Bull 1 and 2 again all season. But for Ferrari, if they can figure some things out with Hamilton going over next year, that's going to be something interesting. We're all going to be wearing red in this house. Alan says, this is a huge win for Roma. Roma's back in the Champions League race. There's enough games for Roma to get to top 4. I think so too. I do. Does it come at the expense of going further in the Europa League? Maybe. But what a dream it would be to get back to that final, to get back to Dublin, right? I'm going to Europa League final 2024. Let's see where it is. Maybe I'm jumping too far ahead here, but I'm getting a little too. Yeah, May 22nd in Dublin. Oh, I would love to get to that. Dachi's in here. Dachi, we got to get you in, man. I got to send you. Maybe we'll do a preview for the next big match together. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's look at Roma's schedule coming up. And I'm just looking at maybe we can do a Brighton one or even Fiorentina in the next few days if you're hanging out. Is it safe to say Roma is back? Joe asks. And I have to say Roma's back. Yeah, if Dybala is back, Roma's back. No, in all seriousness, it's more than just Dybala. It's all around. It's everybody. It's the team playing with a completely different type of energy. I think that there will be times when Dybala is out. I still believe that this team can get it done. It won't be the same, but, well, I have to also add that Tommaso Baldanzi has joined this team, and we haven't really gotten to see exactly what he can do. And he's a player I really believe in. the Vice Dybala. Tommy is just how old? I'm gonna say Baldonzi is 20 years old. Yeah, he's 20, and his birthday is we're the same size. How amazing! His birthday is March 23rd. Okay, so he turns 21 in 3 weeks. Cool. What else we got? What's that? Oh my! Oh, getting excited. My baby's eating. Yes, Damir, what's up, man? Arby took one. Yeah, and two. Max one. Oh, yeah. Perez. Yikes. Demir says, by the way, Wayne, I heard you say give Dybala the number 10. If Roma retire the number 10, I wouldn't mind. Would kind of prefer it. But if they want to keep it, then they should give it to Dybala. Of course. If he resigns. So I'm not in favor of retiring the number 10. Why? Because it's not a random number. It's not 93, for instance, 71, whatever you want to pick out. Even if you want to go to Angelino's number, maybe 69 is a number that we can retire after this this stint with Angelino. But anyway, players when they're young, kids, they look up and they dream of being the number 10 one day. And to stop that dream and to stop players from wanting to excel to be that guy, I don't think that's right to do. On a personal level, I think that the number 10 should be something that's a goal, a target for players. It will always mean something. Today, I hope kids, I think they want to be number 7 more than they want to be a number 10 now. But I don't think you can ever retire the number 10. And I think that if Paulo does resign, he's the most natural number 10. For me, he's the last number 10 in football, the last real number 10. Maybe Baldonzi is also that type of guy too. But you think of what youth football is like now. Most managers play a 4-3-3 or a variant of it. So that pocket forward, the inside forward, the little guy, it's not so common anymore. Really, those are right wingers, left wingers. The game has changed. But we're in love with those players. It's those players who get you to dream. I wanted to emulate them all the time growing up and try what they tried and do back heels and switch the point of play when no one was thinking. So that's my take on that. Anyway, 21, Dybala's legacy, perhaps. Ben says he thinks there's a certain section of the fan base who owe the Friedkins an apology for the manager change, the way the things are going. Yeah, I would say many of the ultras do. The unbridled, not hatred, but like, kind of like unthoughtful rage aimed at the Friedkins was uncalled for. The whole, how could you do this? Mourinho was our guy. That whole thing seemed to be not a clear thought, almost like with politics and how people like are just so overly one-sided and not trying to see the full picture. I think it's corny. Dramaticus says, have you noticed Dybala hasn't been out for injury since Mourinho left? Yeah, and Smalling's back too. My wife reminds me. True. That's true. And you can definitely say that if Mourinho had more Dybala, Roma would have had more points. That's an argument as well. Carl says there's still rumors of Roma being sold. Supposedly the Friedkins did not appreciate being contested in the way that they did. I think it's more to that. I think that it's tied to the stadium, and it looks like the stadium's going to go forward as of now. They could very well find Julius Caesar's long-lost bathhouse under Pietralata, and then all construction would stop endlessly, and then Roma would be back at square one. That's a very real possibility in Rome. That often happens where they'll dig for the subways and stuff, and they come across Roman ruins. It's federally protected, and then it stops the whole project. That still could happen. But let me say, you have to consider that the Friedkins, like anybody involved in sports, are investors. If you get the contract for that stadium, that's secure, and you're gonna get approached by multi-billionaires. You're gonna get offers which are probably north of $2 billion at that point. And as somebody who is an investor, I'm trying to think of like more clever words here, but for somebody who makes money, when you get approached with a $3 billion offer, 2 billion, 1.5, somewhere in that ballpark, you usually take it unless there's something else going on. But right now we know that Roma lose like 40, 50 million euros a year. So It's a bit of a sinking ship, but this would definitely put a cork in that and make it float faster than ever. That's why stadiums are so important. Carl says, when you ask your employees to share your CVs, it's a sign of thinning out the dead weight to optimize costs before selling. So what Carl's alluding to is that a couple days ago, every Roma employee was asked to send in their CV, their resume, to the CEO of the club and state what they do and their qualifications. And I think, as Carl points out here, what is the point of that? Yes, to thin out the dead weight. That would be concerning. If my employer asked me, please send in your CV, and all of my coworkers, I think we'd be like, yo, what's going on? And at that point, you have to think that there's some downsizing that's about to take place. I don't know. It's scary. I feel bad for any of my connections who are still working at the club, but Demir says, I think Dybala's injuries are more in his head, fear of getting hurt. Now that De Rossi came, he's motivating him to play through a little bit of pain. Maybe. But I mean, Paolo has long-term muscle injuries in his adductors, in his knees. So I think perhaps in my opinion, it's just a run of good form. It's him staying healthy, getting proper rest now with Baldonzi too. Not so much over-reliance on Paolo that he has to be there every single match. Hi, baby. You eating? Anyway, what else is going on? I'm not going to do the press conference today. I'll probably do like a 5-minute clip on that tomorrow for anyone who wants to catch up within just a few minutes instead of a live stream where we participate and talk and join in and that stuff. But back to the league today. What other matches we've got coming up? No, I'm going to revert to the starting lineup, actually. Let's take a look at how this match began. There we go. Let me share this tab instead. Okay, cool. So Di Gregorio, who there's a lot of rumors about him this week about going to Juventus. It makes a lot of sense to me. Look, Juventus is still the strongest financially club in Italy. If they get Di Gregorio plus Coop Miners, which looks likely, they're going to be really good next year. Gagliardini, Bondo in the midfield. I thought Bondo had a decent match. Birindelli, Caldirola, Pablo Mari, Carboni, who I also thought he was pretty good today. Colpani, who's cooled off since scoring his several goals in the first third of the season. Pessino, who's now captain, and Malta, youngster, and Djuric, as we mentioned, who's he's got to be at least 6'4". But on the Roma side, Karsdorp had a muscular injury, so Christensen slots in. De Rossi reverts to a back four. Gianluca Mancini and Evan Indica make up that tandem, with Angelino out on the left wingback role. Cristante and Paredes as the anchors here. The double pivot, which is a bit more fluid than you say double pivot. It makes you think of like a rigid formation, almost like a Mikel Makaleli type setup, I guess. But it's a bit more fluid, and Pellegrini runs a bit more than I think the three of them run a bit more than that would suggest. SCS gets to start also with Lukaku up top, and of course Paolo, and we see the goals spread evenly, pretty evenly. Cristante picks up a yellow, as it does Angelino, and Svilar also, and Christensen. Svilar very upset not to get that clean sheet. I felt a little bit for him too. That's a stink. A lot of the goals against him have just been impossible. They haven't been because he's made mistakes or anything. It's just been unfortunate situations. By the way, guys, if you are new here, you know what to do, and also just throw a like up at this video for me, please, and help this channel grow. By the way, guys, I also have some good news. We got a product coming soon. I'm not ready to fully put it out there, but I've got things almost ready. I'm just waiting to edit the commercial, like the little promo that I have going for it, and then I'll be shipping them, or they'll be for sale if anyone buys them, as I hope they do. But we do see today Baldonzi gets a few minutes in. Bove comes in for Pellegrini, gives him some rest. Chris gets an entrance, as does Huijsen. I think it's Huijsen who gets brought down for the penalty kick that Paredes converts. Keep the comments coming in as well, guys. Nice to see you. I don't know where Patrick is today. I reached out to him, but he might be busy. I don't know if he wanted to come on or not. I think we need Patrick back, though. Joe says his only issue is Cristante playing 90 minutes every game. And makes his mistakes. I don't want to hate on Paredes because he's a warrior for this team, but he's had some some poor moments this season. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Football Italia. We probably have some comments coming in from Paolo or somebody else. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to post the link for the free kick that Paolo took. This I watched. I was so excited to see this in real time, where he just put this so nicely over the wall, dips it into the bottom corner. That was some great stuff from Paolo. By the way, guys, we also have, let me stop sharing this. Stop sharing. There we go. We've got the WhatsApp group. If you guys want to join in, we have banter, good conversations, friendly conversations all the time. It's never people like yelling at each other like most social media stuff. I'm going to put that link right in the comments here, right under the Paolo free kick. So come on in. We're always just having like what we were talking about the other day, Lord of the Rings and some other funny stories. But yeah, mostly. Yeah, I could. It's something which you can pin to your hat or to clothing. It is a clothing accessory. Let's call it that. It's collectible more so than anything. Historical. It's a bit of a mix between everything. But I'm hoping I'm just waiting to get some printing material, some stuff I ordered that's going to come with the package. So before I put anything out there, I want to make sure I'm totally ready to ship it out. And it's going to be free shipping within the USA and Canada. So that's the situation I've got going on with that. Anyway, we'll talk more about that at a later time. I'll probably make a little episode or something about that. But anyway, guys, let's take a look at Pellegrini's comments here. I'm going to share my screen from Football Italia, and we'll take the comments coming in. And that'll probably be it for today. We're at 28 minutes in. Yeah, same name, Wayne in Rome, Instagram account, guys. I'll keep that up there. Let's share. What are we doing here? Present, share screen. Okay, let's see what Paolo had to say. Bagel chips are by the fruit. Okay. Pellegrini says it was a difficult match with many hidden dangers. We respect Monza and the way they play, but we did what the coach asked. Choking. Sorry, baby's choking. I'd say our progress is continuing positively since we work every day also to create unity, as that is fundamental. And De Rossi today, or in his press conference yesterday, also mentioned the family aspect. And I like the players mentioning this. He says, when you run out of energy, you find that little extra to sacrifice yourself for your teammate because you like him and want to help out. We are happy. We won a great game and want to continue like this. I always expected De Rossi to become a great coach. It's one thing to think it and another to put it into practice. And he has surprised me with the way he focuses on every detail in training. We work hard, we work smart, and the results are coming. However, we also know that we've achieved nothing yet. If this is the start, then we can only dream of what Roma could become, especially in terms of mentality. Going into the match against De Zerbi, he says it was important to win and give us the right confidence going in. We have done some really good things in Europe over the last few years. Brighton are a good team who like to play, but I can guarantee Roma will leave it on the pitch. Good stuff from the captain there. That's going to be such an exciting game. Is that this Tuesday? Or I should say Wednesday? No. Yes. March 7th, this Thursday at 12:45 p.m. New York City time. So Brighton at home at the Stadio Olimpico, first leg of the round of 16. But they are without Mitoma, their best player. So we'll see what Roma can do. But De Zerbi is a phenomenal coach. He's got his boys playing really good. And you know that his next stop is totally going to be somewhere big. It's not going to be a Brighton. It's not going to be I don't know who's a mid-table club in England, Newcastle at this time, but they're not, somewhere big. Him and Xabi Alonso. By the way, I need to know Xabi Alonso's facial routine care because he looks phenomenal. I can't believe how young he still looks. He's got to be what? 39? Xabi Alonso? 42. Guy looks great. Blessed skin. Thanks, Demir. Thanks, Joe. Yes, that's my goal, man. We're gonna keep building and building. You guys know that over the past year, I think this channel's come a long way with continual content, whether that's previews, shorts, whatever. We got a good community going. Make sure you guys jump in the WhatsApp, like I mentioned. So excellent, LB. It's nice talking to you guys. 15 watching, 3 legs. Come on, come on, come on. Anyway, USL. Ben, so if the USL, Brooklyn's getting a team. My one of my colleagues, Matt Rizzetta, he just got approved for Brooklyn's USL team. They're going to be playing in Coney Island. I wrote an article about that, actually. Speaking of USL, Brooklyn FC. Let me just Google it real quick. If you want to check this out, I'll post this real quick. But USL, good stuff there. I can't wait to go back to Coney Island and see a game. I was there years ago. Guys, thank you. Thanks for joining in. Forza Roma, sempre. As always, we'll be back for a little Brighton preview, probably on Tuesday. Thank you again. We'll talk then. Let me know what you think. Ciao, ciao.